Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard the Starship Kent. I'm your flight captain. I'll be taking you on a trip around the Kent universe. Please buckle up for your safety. Refreshments will be served shortly. And in this episode, we will try to understand this zany story of one superhero named Uber Chad. In this scene, we can see, well, maybe we'll back up a little bit here. Uber Chad has been, his boat has been commandeered by this lovely Japanese mermaid who is quickly on the move, as you can see. But he's wise to her tricks. He gives her the boat and opens up his what's called a manosphere, only to be attacked by a school of mermaids who end up puncturing that underwater. How will he escape? Will he escape? Stay tuned to find out on the Donald Kent Fun Time Comic Book Hour. I love this elevator music. I tell you, it just feels so groovy when you're listening to it, you know? Just so groovy. And you know what rhymes with groovy? Movie. And I'm gonna see one after the show. It's a little movie called Tron. Yes, sir, it's the new one. I never saw the first one. I love the second one. And I don't know if I'm going to like this one, but we'll give it a try. I forget the actor's name, who's like the lead. Jared Leto. So I've heard that there was some controversy with him recently. I don't follow celebrity news, you know. Celebrity snooze is what I call it. But apparently he'd gotten some kind of trouble or something. I don't know. Anyway, I liked him a lot in Blade Runner. He was really truly evil in that, which was quite wow. Is this too big? Oh no, I have a problem in my world. I need a template that is somewhere in between the size of a CD and the size of this green template. I have to somehow get clever. I don't think that's gonna work. Is it gonna work? Let's try it in pencil and then take it from there, folks. Oh boy, that was a refreshing song. So refreshing. Is that a bossa nova beat? I think maybe. Can't go wrong with bossa nova. I love me some bossa nova. What it reminds me of is my. I have to be careful about these personal stories. I had a very brief and very wonderful love affair with a Brazilian model. Yes, she was in Brazil. She was a TV model for shampoo commercials. What do you think of that? Yeah, it was years ago when I was young and handsome. You know. And now, what do I look like now? How would I describe myself? How would I describe myself? I don't know. Distinguished, I guess. What do I look like? We got one person watching the show right now. This is not really what I had in mind. I wanted this sphere to be smaller, but it's kind of would be sort of uncomfortable to have it that small, I think. I look like Hagrid from Harry Potter. No, I don't look like that. I do have a pretty big beard right now, though. Probably can't hear that in my voice, but it is sizable. And we're in like beard season, you know what I mean? This is winter. This is the time to let it really go out of control. Lost control. So, I don't know. It's like some people love beards and some people hate them. But, that's it. I mean, to me, it's like, well, it's not your face. It's my face. So like, it's my face. It's my beard. I also think beards are great for winter. You know what I mean? I think you can probably understand. All right, so we got a little conundrum here. I think I'm going to have to freehand this, which is very dangerous. But when you've got bossa nova elevator music on in the background, it's like a superpower. I could just close my eyes and do it. How you like them apples? I'm gonna have to clean up some things in Photoshop when I get around to that. But yeah, this is not working. Ladies and gentlemen, sometimes things don't go smoothly. You know? It's like, dudes don't want to make mistakes, but, even heaven requires death. You know what I'm saying? You gotta make mistakes in order to grow. And I'm still making mistakes. Hold on. So hello to the two people watching the show. Hope that things are going okay in your world. I think I have like viewers that just come because they like the art, and then other people that come because they want to talk. They have some cool things to say, like EP6257. Hail Uber Chad. I have a feeling that there's an Apollonian in the house right here. Yes, sir, Bob. All right. We got some really, really cool things coming down the pipeline here with the Alliance Universe and the writer-artist team. Boy, you guys will not even know what hit you. It's great time. All right, so let's tell you what. I think I got an idea. Maybe I can use this. In some places, yes, I can. Kind of. Yes, sort of. Maybe. Anyway, hail Uber Chad. Thank you. Thank you for visiting. Thank you for your support. Should I zoom in or zoom out? This is a kind of sort of more technical, so at least maybe you got some other art you can look at while I'm doing the hard part. Maybe I shouldn't sing. Maybe that's a bad idea. What if I just made up lyrics to this song right here on the spot, spontaneously? That would be sick. What would this song be about, though? I know. It could be like sort of like a James Bond song about Uber Chat. There's songs about James Bond from the movies and stuff, and Goldfinger, like, oh, he's the man that the ladies love. Goldfinger. Wow, I think I'm onto something here. EP says, just an AIM writer. Oh, supporting a fellow artist. Thank you. Tell me more about your writing, dude. I would love to know. That would be cool. Always happy to talk with other creators. Speaking of which, my plan I just don't have the angle. My plan in 2026 is to start a new show that will be featuring artists and creators, writers, musicians from within the right-wing sphere, if you will. And so definitely want to keep your eyes and ears open for that. I know quite a lot of them, just to name it, I'd rather. I'm a founding member of the White Art Collective, and I've just been involved in a lot of different organizations and groups within our sphere, as they say. And I've published with a lot of people. I think everybody's waiting for a big Donald Kent comeback. It's all like, dude, when are you going to get off your butt skis? Mr. Colavrato's here. Speaking of writers, Colavrat is a writer. Maybe he can share some of his thoughts on the writing craft. How do you go about the process of writing? For me, and you guys just go ahead and share your thoughts on that. Well, of course, I start off with an idea of something. Really, for me, it's more of like there's something I want to say, Oh, well, the EP says, I don't know if it's possible to link, but I have a mini story, The Solar Power, which serves as the basis of a novel I'm writing. General theme, when the sun comes out, cockroaches freak the F out. All right, man, let's do it. Let's do it. Take it all the way. Cockroaches. I wonder what you're alluding to there. But anyway, it's about the process. So there's a book called The DC Guide to Writing Comics, which frankly that's kind of my template go-to book resource, if you will, for that. And it's just really a professional's guide on writing. And you could really look at it more like if you were a TV writer, because it's about writing for series, kind Comics are series of comics, right? You know, monthly. But there's different, you know, long and short, and this and that and the other thing. There's different kinds of there's the ongoing, there's the, you know, story arc that has a kind of a, you know, beginning, middle, end, maybe 12 issues or something, you know. But then it goes deeper into things like concepts like the MacGuffin, you know, like what is the MacGuffin? What are the characters fighting for? What are they after? And you know, in one story, it might be like, oh well, they're after the Golden Falcon of Zimbabwe, and I was like, oh, and they're all fighting and killing and running and jumping and something. But the reality is, they're actually not after that. They're after the love of the protagonist or some kind of thing. Like, you know, there might be some other motivational force there, or you know, yeah, I think you get the idea of what I'm saying. Excuse me. There's tons of great info in there that's been really helpful to me. I do see storytelling in a very, oh, how do I put this? Like in that way. I don't know how else to fucking put it. You know, I intend to do comics, so I should learn how to write for comics, right? That makes sense. Am I crazy or what? I need some water. Hold on. Well, I do endless descriptions with a few bits of dialogue. Oh, okay. And yeah, there's different writers, you know. Some are really dialogue dense, and others are not. Others are atmospheric and mood oriented and things, you know, things of that nature. I guess I write like my Militia Man and other things I've done that you can get at my Substack, by the way. I think are like little movies. I always kind of perceive them as movies or, you know, things like that, short films. You know. I gotta get some water. Hold on. Conceive, believe, and achieve. Do it. But you gotta have, I don't know, to me it's like, I'm always asking, like, what is this person about? Trad Dad is in his house. Hello and welcome to the lobby of Solace. That's heavy, bro. I love your entry. That was a slick fucking entry. Ladies and gentlemen, Trad Dad. Cheers to Trad Dad. All right, so I'm going to give you guys a quick look at these pages so you have a little sense of the lunacy that I am trying to illustrate. We got our Hatsy-Tatsy Japanese mermaid who is about to go to town. And he kicks her out. He's like, no, I know what you're up to. Well, actually, there's another page here before that happens. There's some dialogue. There's a UFO underneath the water. What is that doing there? Cheers, brothers. All right. And then suddenly another woman appears out of nowhere. And then there's a big fish. And then slam. We get into this next page. Where did the page go? That's where he knocks her out of the boat and starts to go into action. They're attacking him. But never fear, because this happens. So I created this new design. This is his like underwater battle gear. But before he even gets a chance to use that, this character called Trad Wife appears and she saves him, pulls him out of the water. And then that leads to another adventure somewhere else. So there's a little... He tries to flirt with her, something. And now back to our regularly programmed schedule. Regularly scheduled program. Let's read some chats. We got a couple things here. Kulivrat says, I do it without a storyboard, though, which isn't what a newbie shouldn't be doing. That's a double negative. Because it's harder to stay consistent, but hey, it helps with memory, coming up with creative ideas. Got it. Cheers, haha, in my book, protagonist also rejects that kind of girl. あのね、why do you not like a Japanese girl? A Japanese wife. Make you very happy. Sorry. I'll stop. I'm sorry. I apologize. You know, I lived in Japan for a year. Did you guys know that? You're like, what the fuck, man? No. I did a student exchange program when I was in my undergrad. Oh, so now I get to brag that I know more about Japan than you do. No. It was awesome. I went to study Buddhism, painting, culture. I went for the adventure. For me, it was like a coming of age experience. You know, I wanted to do this on my own and feel like a man. You know, like, look at me. I traveled alone to Asia. I went through my college, so it wasn't like it was totally alone. I did that years later when I went to Taiwan. Taiwan Dan is what they used to call me. Isn't that funny? Taiwan Dan. Anyway, so what's going on, guys? What are you following in the news right now? Like, what's hot? What is hot? Like, what are you keeping an eye on in the news that you find engaging and important? Or is there anything interesting happening within our culture? Any good shows that you might have seen? Influencer shows? Mark Collette's always putting out good shows. Very, very informative. That to me is pretty much the go-to for like European news in English, obviously. And of course that's UK based, you know. But he's just so solid. The dude is just so solid, you know. And he puts out shows freaking every day. It's like the guy's he's a machine. Mark the Machine. See? Move over, Terminator. It's Mark the Machine. I really want to figure out how to do a Mark Collette accent, English accent. Because, like, I just love the way he talks. Like, he's so animated. I've tried doing it, but I always feel like it's just not good enough. It's sort of, like, almost there. But anyway, if I find it very enjoyable. Also, I recommend Chief Moody. Chief Moody is in the Mark Collette sphere, if you will, the patriotic alternative culture. He's from Scotland, so get a bottle of scotch before you watch that show. All right, Kulivrat says, well, the good news is that American Krogan is back. So that is a little bit of news, isn't it? How did he come back, though? Like, somebody know somebody in high places? Like, how did that even happen? Like, enough people complained? That's kind of interesting. Tread Dad, federal buildings have been extra empty since the government shutdown. Gone are the days of full hallways and liberal chatter. I don't know. I've got pretty negative opinions about the government and this and that, but in reality, it's just fuckery. You know, I really feel like it's massive amounts of fuckery. I need my EBT benefits. There was one black woman that did like a TikTok saying like, if we can't get food from our EBT cards, then we're gonna start eating white people. We're gonna like cannibalize white people. Well, you're gonna need a lot of spice because white people don't spice their food. So you're gonna need a lot of spice. Anyway, sorry, that was kind of gross, actually. I apologize for that. When will they get back? When will they start back again? Because I know that, like, the longer this goes, the worse it gets, basically. I heard that, like, voting on, like, whether or not to declassify or publicize the Epstein documents was one of the votes, and then they're gonna like that's why they're not, you know, operating because nobody wants to vote on that or something. I don't know. I've got my eye on politics, but not on that one particular topic. You know what I'm saying? I should probably get a little more info on that. Trad Dad, do you work in politics? Are you like around that kind of shit? Muy interesante. Yeah, I mean, I'm into politics, but I don't believe in the system as it is. Like I would, you know, I wouldn't work within a system that I don't believe in. You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't make sense. Alrighty. Trad says COVID transformed the city. Empty offices are abundant in every building. What big shot will plan something new for all this space, and what comes next is what I anticipate. Well, are you seeing those offices filled with East Indian programmers or, you know, Guatemalan factory workers? You know, like what's the scoop? What is the scoop? Yeah. What are your guys' take on Nick Fuentes and what's happening with Fuentes and Tucker, Candace, Ben Shapiro, Dave Smith? There was a young guy in Mississippi who just got arrested for saying some unsavory things to, I can't pronounce his name. He's the Jewish guy that owns some pizza company, and he's been in the news. You guys know the names probably. I've been in that environment for 25 years, adjacent to all the politics and agendas. Shit. Wow. Fuck, dude. So, what's your take then on this whole Ben Shapiro stuff? Did I say Ben Shapiro? Yeah. No. Well, I mean Ben Shapiro versus Nick Fuentes. That's kind of what I'm getting at. Because it looks as if the nation, rather not the nation, but the GOP, is really being forced into a choice between Israel or America. And it's also like free speech is on the docket. Like, you know, anybody who wants to criticize Israel is labeled anti-Semitic, which obviously is horseshit, right? And nobody is past This is literally what Tucker's saying. Is like, you know, no country and nobody is beyond criticism, and it's not anti-Semitism; it's free speech. And so we're really, literally at the front line of a kind of war with the Jews in this regard. And it's really, 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 really fucking important. Kolovrat says, I'm worried for Tucker. I don't like Nick, but but if someone wants Tucker silenced, I'm worried. Right, so you've heard, I mean, this is what I'm telling you. It's like when the Jews can come out and say, oh, he has to be silenced or canceled or, you know, we know what that means. Just after fucking Charlie Kirk being murdered, to say that, that's such a dog whistle, guys. That's such a fucking dog whistle, you know. Why not arrest that motherfucker instead of this kid in Mississippi that, like, you know, spoke out against this Jewish CEO? You know, it's like, how dare you? How dare you say a thing against me? Arrest him! You know, I mean, this is literally the fucking world we're in right now, you know. Laws are just words, and if you kind of think about it, you know, it's like, if you say tomato on a Tuesday, then you go to jail, you know, because that means you're a hateful, violent threat to the state, you know. Oh, okay. I see. You just define shit out of fucking arbitrary thin air. Okay, well, criticizing the Jews is anti-Semitism. Okay. You can just define shit out of thin fucking air. I'm worried about Tucker. Yeah. Actually, Candace Owens and Nick Fuentes both put out statements saying I'm not suicidal, you know, and like if somebody comes to kill me, then, you know, it's them. You know, it's them, you know. Fuentes was like, if you kill me, then 100 Groypers will sort of stand up in my stead. And then if you kill them, 1,000 Groypers will come up, you know. So it's truly revolutionary. I never was a Fuentes guy. I never was. I you know, it was like hit and miss. Just like, okay, you know, I you know, America first is agreeable. That's fine. But like, he's just really young and kind of piss potty, you know, and I'm not really into that, you know. And then there's just a couple little unsavory things here and there. I'm like, it's just, I'm an adult, you know. But then like the tide changed and things happened, and then now he's like the fulcrum of fucking politics and free speech right now. So, like it or not, this is what it is. Tell me who else is more important in politics right now? Nobody, you know. It's happening. It's like it's going down, you know. Forget about if you like him or not. Watch what's happening for the sake of understanding the challenge of you know, like we are farther in our challenge of Jewish power than we've ever been before because of what's happening with him, you know. So pay attention, yeah. And I'm not. It's not an advertisement for Groypers, but it's just literally saying, you know, this is what's happening right now. So pay attention, you know. This music is making me laugh. Anyway, let's read on. It appears the RNC is finally having to answer to the disinfected white youth, which also put a beacon on the Yiddish power. Thank you. Kolovrat says they also want people to verify their age and ID online. on online games. That I think is more about catching pedophiles. Is that right? I think that's what that's for. There's a reason why I want to get physical media discs and not digital media with an age or ID verification system. All right, I mean, I know what you mean about just like the whole, what is it called? Biometrics and all that shit it's coming down the line. But to my understanding from the news I've seen, there's definitely a pedo stalker crisis in the, like Roblox, I guess, online is crawling with pedos, and the authorities are out there taking them down. I guess I don't know too much about it, but I saw like a news report on that some time ago. And Roblox is huge for like kids that are like 12 and under. You see what I'm saying? If I were king, it would definitely be public execution for these kind of people. Definitely. Yeah. Anyway, let's do some eraser on this, and we'll move on to the next page. So I'm desperately waiting for more script from the writer so I can keep kicking tail. I love this version of the main character though. What I'm trying, okay, so his suit is made up of like nanoparticles that can take any shape or whatever, sort of, you get the idea. So he morphs into these different things. He guns and wings and gadgets and various things of this nature. So I thought, like, if he's about to drown and he's inside this circle ball thing, then he's gonna pop into like a battle suit because he's got to fight all of these mermaids in this scene. That was not in the script, but I thought this is what he would do, and the writer was like, "Yep, keep it for sure." The only thing we added were like harpoons on his arms there, and so I changed the design. I have these like what do you call them? Like rotors, or basically like the fans that you use on to propel yourself underwater. I don't know. It just looks cool. I think it looks cool. Too bad he doesn't get a chance to use any of that, because the very next panel he gets like pulled out of the water. But it's still cool. Anyway, so then we move on to the trad wife scene. Oh, trad wife. We all want one. We all want one. Do do dee dee da da do da dum. Hello, ladies. Oh man, oh man, oh. So they also want. I read that. Okay. So I don't know. I guess this is a wall that I'm running into when I talk to people in our movement. Is I'll be like, "Hey, have you heard about what's going on with Nick Fuentes?" And they're, "I don't like him." I'm like, "That's not the point. That's not the point. It's not about liking him or not. It's about the Overton window is moving, and shit's changing, and he's shaking up the. It's not. You can't just say it's him. It's a series of events that happened. Obviously, Charlie Kirk's murder certainly set a hell of a tone. In my view, because I've been paying attention to this, I think Candace Owens having the first interview, that broke the door down. Now, there were other people that interviewed Fuentes that were like comedians and edgelords, and which is still slightly breaking into the mainstream. But there was this kind of like Tucker Carlson versus Fuentes thing, what rift or whatever, if you will. And that lasted for a while, and this and that, and then Tucker was like, "Fuck it," and he came to his senses, and he had Fuentes on. And that shook up the Jew establishment. That shook it up bad. And so I don't know what's in your social media algorithm and your reels, but there's so many grifters out there now. New grifters that are like, you know, good talkers, you know, and they just show clips of Fuentes and do commentary. So they're borrowing Fuentes's thunder or whatever, you know, however you want to call it. But I still appreciate that. I appreciate that they're out there, you know, duplicating the information and spreading it far and wide. That's good. That's important. So, yeah, just take my advice for a little bit and look into it. Click on those videos in your algorithm. Start to get familiar with what's happening because it's important. I don't want to say we're winning because that's a big thing to say, but we're winning. We're gaining ground. I won't say we're winning. We're gaining a hell of a lot of ground. You know, at any minute, Israel could do the Samson option, okay, and we'll all die, right, you know, but you know, it's to force the GOP to decide between Israel and America. Holy fuck! You can't tell me that's not fucking enormous. You know, that's massive, bro. Get on board. Massive. There's like some massive news that I'm just like dying to fucking tell you guys. It's really good, but it's one of these like, oh, don't go public on that yet. And I'm like, no, but please, I want to tell everybody, you know, I'm that guy, you know. It's like the kid that couldn't wait for Christmas morning. You know, can I just open one present, please? Please? Oh, man. Well, at least I got good news, right? Instead of, whoa, whoa, Chudsville, black pills all around. Hey, there you go. This music and those lyrics. It's Chudsville, black pills all around for you and me. Come and get 'em, do-do-dee. What the fuck have I been smoking? Oh my God, Don, would you shut up? What kind of a show is this? Jesus, somebody slap me. All right, let's read some comments, you Tell me you guys can hear the music. Otherwise, I will definitely sound like an idiot singing to nothing. All right, let's go back. Worried about Tucker. Colorado says they also want people to verify. I read that. Yeah, I said to people that their liking or hating of Nick is irrelevant. Focus on this event because there are people who are malicious. It's politics, man. It's what's happening. It's what's going on right now. You got to be there or be here, you know, which is that's driving me nuts. Like this is literally my face right now. Okay. I totally see it, Don. The youth don't think and act like the current GOP white vote overlord. A new era is upon us. Thank you, Trad Dad. 1,000 points for you right away. Colorado says we do hear the music. Okay, good, because otherwise I would sound like an absolute fool. I'm telling you, you know, the music's making me happy. Like if I were listening to Pink Floyd, I'd be like, yeah. I'd be all like the fucking, there's no hope. I'd be like Eeyore, you know? Remember Eeyore? Oh, well, what's the use in trying? Put on some of this, like, elevator music, and I'm funny, Don. I'm funny, charming, Don. You guys should have heard the beginning of the show. I did this really funny intro. I was so funny. Oh, you guys are like, no, we're serious. Getting serious. Anyway, so I think I'm gonna have to play this music when I start my new show, cause like it just has that vibe. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? That makes perfect sense, honestly. So for the first show, by the way, I have like this really great friend who's helping out with the media development. You'll have segments of the show, and like every couple minutes will be a new segment, kind of like a late night talk show. Okay, so that it'll be fun, not fast paced, but it'll have a good clip to it, so that it's like, okay, that's fun and interesting, and now move on to the next bit. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I'm gonna be Johnny Carson per se. Like, I don't know if that's the thing I'm going for. You know, not quite. That's a little on the silly side, but like, it'll be fun and serious when, in degrees. Trying to promote the artists, craftspeople, musicians that are still with us but don't have any platform. After the White Art Collective ended, there was no platform anymore. It was just a bunch of people floating around the internet. So I wouldn't dare call this show the new White Art Collective. That's not at all what it is. It is and it isn't, in the sense that it's a variety show featuring our guys, featuring our people, So the format will be similar in that regard. The content, I shouldn't say format, the content will be the same. Not the same. Will include a lot of the same. Okay. Let's read. Welcome to the White Room. Good news and groovy tunes abound. There you go, dude. You could be one of my writers. Holy shit. I didn't even think about that. What if I holy shit. Oh my god. What if I had a team of writers for this show? Holy fuck. Do jokes and stuff and current events. Holy shit, that's a great idea. Wow. Oh my god. See, you guys are dangerous, man. My mom told me I shouldn't hang out with dangerous people like you. I'm in trouble. I'm kidding. So what else is up here? Let's see. Trying to figure out these details here. Get Hippocratic Oath to write your jokes and you'll be solid. Yeah, the dude is fucking great. Where the hell's he been though? I feel like he's mad at me or something. Like he just disappeared. And I'm worried about him. Did I do something wrong? Is it my fault? No, but he cracks me up. He's I know everybody's got a life, people doing shit and whatever, it's fine. But I do miss him. I miss him bad. This dude is really, really bright. Great hot takes. Holy shit. I learn a lot from him. I love being around people that are smarter than me, because that's how you fucking learn, You're not going to learn anything just kind of being around your same group of midwits. Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm kidding. Come on, guys. It's the music. You see what music does to me? Makes me silly. Tread Dad says, now thinking a bit deeper, chew on this. We know Right wing politics is having to acknowledge angry white youth whose opportunity for wealth and prosperity are gone. I know that. I know that. Yes, I mean, that's kind of the point of this show is to actually not dwell on those type of things, but to give us a space. Yet Yiddish power still sits atop culture, media, education, industry, government. How does that transformation actually occur with current power players? So I certainly am going to get into discussions, about, how do we fix our problems. That's fine. But I don't want it to be blackpilling. That's just essentially kind of what I'm saying. I like the idea that, you learn some stuff and you have some fun, like edutainment is what I would call it. There's going to be like an art history segment. There's going to be a segment on third position politics. I've already talked to Cultured Thug about being a part of the show for that segment. That's pretty crazy, guys, right? Like a 3P thing, and it's like they're just kind of nuggets. They're like little bits of information where, you can learn about 3P, and then if you want more, go to Cultured Thug at rumble.com and blah, 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 and he's selling books. There's going to be a lot of, frankly, I'm going to be pushing a lot of selling of people's stuff, like these craftspeople and, my book, obviously, the graphic novel that I'm doing right now, it is a marketing platform for sure. But that's just kind of in between other things. And it's delivering products to our people. And we're starving for this kind of content. It's not like, some bullshit you don't need. Rather it's content that is enlightening and uplifting and beautiful and cultural. You see what I'm saying? I gotta tell you, like, I'm in love with a lot of the craftswomen in our sphere. They just do gorgeous, gorgeous work. Yeah, some of it, I'm not gonna be wearing their earrings or whatever, but you can admire it a lot, and I don't know if you got a trad wife in your life, or even, I don't know, somebody else or whatever, can pick up some of their stuff. There's just so many things going on. I want to get back into making music. So in the sense, the show is kind of me pushing myself to get out more and be more, do more. I got a lot of shit on my plate coming up here. Colorvrot says, honestly, since I've been reincorporating symbols like the philfot into my writing, my passion is slowly returning. What is a philfot? Educate me. Tried Dad, no black pills on my end, just kicking around ideas that help arm for the local level activism. Very good, very good. Yeah, it's not gonna be, I mean, we have to interact with these ideas, and it's not meant to be, like, I'm not avoiding these things. I'm the last guy to avoid those things. You've heard me, on my show. I'm a loudmouth. I go there. My last show, honestly, I think I said some. I don't think they're controversial, but like, our enemies could do some clips of that show and be like, "Holy shit! Listen, did you just hear what he just said?" Kind of thing. I was essentially kind of saying that, like, if the Amish can, live in their own communities, then all ethnicities in America can. And then we can instead of competing with each other or parasiting off of us, why don't we partner up into a new third position system where every every race has its own, communities and freedom of association and all of that kind of stuff. I make a very, very strong case for it. I would totally not say that it's like there's no negative intentions or mean spirited things about it. It's very, very logical. As you listen to it, you'll kind of even sense like, wow, like this really would be good for everybody if we stopped fighting each other and cooperated in this way and created a new country, basically. You know, you'll have to hear the show, but it's kind of a companion piece to my Substack. I just wrote an article about that. So put that in your pipe and smoke it. Yes, zombie. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Let's see. We got some good old-fashioned superheroes here. All right, let's read some comments by these cool dudes. Kolovrat says the Philfot is an Anglo-Saxon symbol and a variant of the symbol on the flag of 1940s Germany. So, can you describe the symbol? Is it like a shield? Is it a double-headed eagle? Is it runes? Is it a iron cross? Like electrical bolts? Like what is it? What does it look like? It's swastika. Okay, okay. Yeah, I love the swastika. It's a very, very powerful symbol. I really, really love it. Of course, the swastika has appeared all over the world in different cultures in different times. I think primarily it's been a symbol of the turning of the seasons. If you look at, what is it, the Big Dipper? In the sky, every season it turns around the North Star. And the Big Dipper is kind of like an L shape in its general form. You've got, the handle and then the dipper, I guess. And then if you turn that, 15, 15, 15, 15, or 45 degrees, whatever, and you put them all together, you get the swastika. So, now, I will tell you, of course, in Buddhism and Hinduism, it's a symbol for reincarnation. So that's unique to those cosmological views. You know what I'm saying? But I find it to be like an extremely powerful sigil. You guys know what a sigil is? A sigil is a magic symbol. I really do believe that it has like magic power as a symbol, which I would say, other people know that as well, that it has this power, and that was another thing that I talked about on my show last night, was about whites getting over it, like getting over the kind of like ADL syndrome, like the idea that we can't have our own symbols, that we can't be in charge of our own culture, and that we should feel guilty for existing and just, give up on our homelands and our resources and just die off in shame, like that's, you know what I mean? long story short, no white guilt. Like, you have to, and we're still very much trapped in it. Not you and I, but whites in general are deeply, deeply trapped in it. And the new thing right now is anti-Semitism. That's the big thing. It used to be homophobia or sexism or, this and that. There's always some dialectic out there to silence whites from taking their own side, from, doing what we need to do. So yeah, there you go, and now you know forevermore, and so it shall ever be. So let's go. Crooked Cross, it was a sun wheel of sorts. That's how I view it, representing 4 seasons, right? There's something called the Native American swastika, which is absolutely gorgeous. I love it. That is something I'd love to have, like a necklace or just something to like hang up in the house. It's a circular swastika, and there's 4 colors that from. I guess this is like a Native American thing. There's like white, black, yellow, and red, and it's meant to represent like the 4 races. And there's more than 4, but it's it's not like it's a thing. It's a positive thing. It's a very positive thing, and it's interesting how like this is. Think about that. Actually, that's quite astonishing to think that there's a positive, inclusive representation of white people in a Native American swastika. That's trippy. That is really cool. I find that awesome. I think that's awesome. So there you go, and now you know forevermore. So shall it be, as it was and ever shall be. World without end. And now you know. All right, so there it is, and nothing more to say about that. Sorry, again. It's the music, guys. I swear to God, it's the music. It's like a drug. It's just making me silly. I don't know. Let's have a vote. Should I play this kind of music on every show and like bring this out of me, or no? You want to go back to Pink Floyd? When I was young, all these bad things happened to me, and I'll never. Oh. I'm like mocking myself out. That was really cruel. It was really, really cruel. Excuse me. That's how I view it. I've researched a lot about the hooked cross from Asia to Europe to Africa to Americas. All are gorgeous symbols. Yes, they really should be celebrated. Let's do it. That's it. We're doing it. No one's gonna stop us. Wow, man, that's a funky dunky character. Look at that guy go. I'm gonna put on a little Vince Guaraldi. Oh, is it Giraldi or Giraldi? He is the dude that did the Charlie Brown Christmas music. Sad thing that he died in his like 50s or something, but masterful, masterful songwriter and pianist. Here we go. We're getting seasonal. It's probably better than that silly music we were listening to. Now I'm gonna act all nostalgic. I remember when Christmas of 1969, all the roads were shut down and I couldn't get the turkey to Aunt Martha's house. So I set out on my horse and buggy. With nothing but a hat and coat on, and a fifth of whiskey. By the time I made it to old Aunt Martha's, my toes froze off. Sorry, where the fuck did that come from? What kind of a wackadoo am I? I'm in it to win it, baby. Get real. this is the power of music. It can make you happy. It can make you sad. It can make you silly. It can make you angry. It's like magic. It's fucking magic. It's like voodoo. Shame historic symbols have been abolished, banished. Well, we're bringing them back, baby. Bring them back. Bring back the swastika, baby. Oh, I'm glad that Culverot liked my little joke. So I'm out here making jokes, on the stage here, and nobody's laughing or clapping. So I'm really sweating up here on the stage. Can't win them all. Yeah, it's a shame that those symbols are enough to get you harassed. So, like, my thing that I usually say is, like, the ADL does not have the right to tell us what our symbols mean. If I mean, we might as well start a campaign saying that the Star of Remphan, which I think you guys know what I'm referring to, is a hate symbol, and it symbolizes global domination, and it symbolizes hatred of Christians. It symbolizes human trafficking. It symbolizes usury. What else? What else can we add on there, guys? What else? It symbolizes 9/11. Symbolizes the Ukrainian Holocaust of the Holodomor. What else does the Star of Remphan symbolize? Blood libel? What else does it symbolize? You see how we could be here all day? So, like, hey, if they can tell us what our symbols mean, then we can tell them what their symbols mean. Okay, it's only fair. All right. Goyim Gone Wild. There's our new show. That could be a segment. Goyim Gone Wild. Holy cow. Who knew? Who knew that the Goyim could be so crazy? Where do they get off being so silly? Fun times. It's interesting listening to this music, and you can kind of hear phrases that he uses in like different parts in like other Peanuts shows. There's when you're a musician, you pick up on stuff like that. Like, oh, that little riff he just did was from that one song on that one show, or on blah blah blah. It's kind of a thing. Guitar players do that a lot. Eric Clapton with Cream, White Room, the song White Room. When you listen to the solo of that, he's playing the melody of Blue Moon. Blue Moon, I saw you standing alone. Listen to it, and you'll hear it, you'll be like, holy shit, he's playing Blue Moon. That's fucking cool. So that's what I mean. I'm sorry, I'll shut up now. I don't mean to be inspiring. I'm sorry. Oh my God, the Nick, no, what's his face? Come on, Ben Shapiro's his recent interview saying, like, if Americans can't handle living or can't afford living in America, then get out. Like it's like Fuentes did a reaction video to that. Like, I mean, like, how much more obvious can it be? Like, we can have a country, but you can't. And not only that, they're the ones that are making it impossible to survive, as far as the finances and these various things. Fucked up, man. Nobody can see these things if they're not paying attention or like doing their research. Because they're abstractions, it's like, I don't get it. How does that work, And just seeing the abstractions alone is hard enough. But, getting people to actually, say, look, I'm sorry, I know this goes against everything that you've ever been taught, but this is what it is. This is the reality of the situation. Anyway, there he is, Harpoon Man, ladies and gentlemen. A certain federal building in town has swastikas incorporated in the stonework exterior, wrapping completely around the building. A real beauty. That's awesome, bro. Brohim. That's great. There is a famous building near where I live that is like a national treasure and of architecture. And it was built in the 30s. I did a lot of research on it, actually. And at the time, like, fascist symbolism it was all the rage. It was very popular. And so this building's got a lot of it in there. And it's like baked into the building, you know what I mean? Like in the architecture, the woodwork, this and that, and then the next thing, when you read like the whatever, the information that they have about the history of the building, they always apologize for that. Like, this is very troublesome. It's very complex. Shut. Go stick your head in the toilet and flush. All right. Mamdani, what's his name? The guy who is the new mayor of New York City. Something that I heard recently in the news was, I don't know if it's not the news, and like the hot take news, that this is basically the Jews trying to take the attention off of them and put it back on Muslims, I mean, the Muslims are definitely a danger, but you see how that kind of works. Like, there's all kinds of video footage and photos and whatnot of him meeting with rabbis just before he got elected. This is what I mean. It's like all fucking rigged. Democracy is pure theater. Oh, you don't know how democracy works. Yeah, right. Keep voting. Vote your way out. That'll work. Keep trusting the system. Goyim. Cattle. Uh-oh, I'm starting to get kind of dark here. Maybe I gotta put that goofy music back on. But that's news. There you go. All right. Pretty sweet. What time is it? It is time to wrap it up. I'm sorry. Ooh. Take 5 by Bill Brubeck? Dave Brubeck, sorry. Oh, this is the shit right here. Now, why do they call it Take 5? Let's listen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do da do da do da do da do da. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's your music lesson for today. And now that's a freebie, okay? Next one you got to pay for. Let's move on. What do you got? A certain federal building, I read that. Oh, The music's so good. Oh, I can't. And then the resolve. Oh, goes right back in. So good. Ah, West Coast jazz, baby. White jazz. Sorry, black jazz. I like black jazz too, but this is white jazz. Moving on. Well, I'll shut up. Okay. Kulvrat says yes. Some Chinese channels said that the hooked cross in Europe and America will be viewed in a similar light to the yin and yang. What? It's the most likely outcome when it's readopted by Europeans. Wow. Brilliant. You keep calling it the hooked cross, but I know what you mean. I'm sorry. I just don't like to dance around these things until I lose my channel. Kulvrat says, when they say that, I always mention Plato's quote on how democracy is a pathway to a silent tyranny. They always ignore me when I say that. Midwits. See, the true battle, I really do believe this. The real battle is between high and low IQ people. Because, like, there's way too many low IQ people and far too few high IQ. And, you know, if everybody knew, we would not allow this shit to go on in our worlds. You know? Does that make sense? Thank you for putting my Substack and my website there. I deeply appreciate that, Splattercat. Thank you so much. And on that happy note, Harpoon Man and I are going to call it a night. I hope you enjoyed Silly Donald Kent. He doesn't come out very often, but when you got funny music, it brings out that in me. So maybe we'll do more of that in the future. Anyway, God bless you guys. Love you all. Have a great night. Please, if you're new to the channel, leave a comment, subscribe, share, and keep on rocking in the free world.